Hi, I'm Haranda Misra, Chairman and CEO of GMEX Group. Welcome to GMEX Digital Talks in collaboration with the Association of Futures Markets at our jointly hosted digital transformation event in Dubai. Hello again. I'd like to welcome Mike Kessler, CEO of Tokenise and Tokenise Stock Exchange, to the event today and to this Q&A. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you, and thanks a lot for having us. It's a great event so far.
Yeah, my pleasure. And in terms of the event and digital transformation, great panel, by the way, and some great comments by you as always. We wouldn't expect any less. What does digital transformation mean to you and the firm?
I think for us, obviously, sticking to digital transformation in the financial services space, I think we're seeing a number of things happening within the industry. I think you're seeing the kind of, I wouldn't say the kind of dearth of crypto, but I think crypto has had its time, and I think people are starting to move far more into secure assets, which is hopefully where we find ourselves in terms of securities. I think people want to have something that they can rely upon rather than I suppose what's recently happened in the marketplaces. I'm not saying that FTX is a classic example. I think there's decent people out there, and unfortunately there's some people that take advantage of the system. But I think if we can move over into digital securities, I think a lot of the crypto assets will actually start transforming and moving over into a more secure, stable environment.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm a firm believer, like you, it's got to be about real world assets. Obviously, crypto plays a part, but actually the more that we can tokenize and we can seamlessly handle real world assets, whether that's carbon credits on the one hand and a lot of the problems in that market, whether it's tokenized securities and a lot of the other assets like loyalty that you're very passionate about as well. And some of the financial inclusion benefits. I mean, that really all excites me. With that in mind, I mean, what were your key takeaways from the panel today as well that most resonated with you?
I think definitely in terms of the panel, I think it was a really interesting conversation with different people that are coming about it from slightly different angles. I think the main thing that there's consensus that the banks don't facilitate what we're doing. I think there's confusion over what the blockchain is. The blockchain is not the be-all and end-all of everything, and I think that that's a real problem because those that aren't involved in the blockchain perceive it to be an ill-fated environment. And I think that's where even the regulators, and I think and the other takeaway is really about disintermediation of not of everyone, because I think you do need intermediaries and you need to have an orderly system. But where you have intermediaries that instill something for the sake of legacy systems, I think that that's the key takeaway for me is how do we break down some of those barriers and make it so that it's more accessible to more people for the right reasons. You can't protect everyone against everything. And people have to take some personal responsibility. And I was saying earlier, if you go into a Walmart, an Asda, you can go and spend £1,000 and no one checks who you are.
No.
If you spend $1 on a regulated platform, you've got to do KYC and AML checks. And it's just totally disproportionate for what the risks are.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Whether it's luxury handbag shops and things like that, people are coming in with wads of cash. So it's really interesting. And I think as an industry, that's an area like you, I'd really like to see evolve because KYC, AML, coin forensics, everything is very disjointed at the moment. And I think, what technology fragments, it can definitely knit together. With that also in mind, I mean, what do you see as your key predictions if you look ahead now over the next 12 months?
Next 12 months, I think you're going to start seeing a little bit more harmonization between platforms. I mean, we've spoken about it numerous times about interoperability. I don't think we're there yet, but I think the conversations are going to start happening. And I think regulators need to also start having those conversations with other regulators. And I think that's kind of happening, but probably not as quickly as it should do. I do think that you are going to see the birth of a number of exchanges, and I think you're also going to see more and more people fractionalizing existing assets in terms of existing shares and stuff, as well as the creation of new asset classes and new exchanges to support those asset classes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a fascinating time for our markets.
Yeah.
And as Patrick Young was saying on an earlier interview, everything is becoming exchange-like,
Yeah.
which is great for us. And I do hope this construct between traditional finance and what you're doing at the cutting edge of digital finance and digital assets intersects more seamlessly, so we end up with hybrid finance.
Absolutely. I mean, we're seeing it also. If you think about it, there's things like StockX,
Yeah.
where people are exchanging trainers for cash,
Yes.
or clothes for cash. So the kids of today are the future investors of tomorrow, and they're already trading these instruments. They're just doing it with commodities at the moment rather than securities.
Yeah, it's fascinating you say that, because my daughter, with clothes that she's bought and she doesn't like, I mean, she's already trading them online. She'll
Yeah.
put them up, put them on a marketplace and selling them and monetizing them, whereas back in the day with us, I mean, they'd end up in the back of the cupboard and then sent to a secondhand shop or
Exactly.
a charity shop or something like that.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, these kids, they're online and they're using markets and social media to optimize their income.
Absolutely. And I think that's where we're going with this. We are hopefully getting together with a social network so that we can actually socialize some of the investments.
Fascinating. Mike, thank you so much for your time.
Thank
It's
you.
been a
and thank
pleasure
you
as always.
for organising the conference.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. Good to
Thank
have
you.
you.
Cheers. Bye.